Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Brajatana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajatana Ranjana. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Umagyanti Mirandasya Ganangzana Salakaya Chakshurun Militang Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Excuse me, please. If you could sit on a bench, here the Matajis. Please, I'm sorry. You could not know. Thank you. Sorry. Who doesn't understand German? 4. Und wer versteht kein Deutsch? Sorry. Down. Wer versteht kein Englisch? Okay. 4 against 1. Englisch. Wie ist nochmal der Vers? Welcher? Das Lesezeichen. Hm? Ja, 24, glaube ich, ne? 17 oder 23. Nee. Bis 33. Stand im Plan. Ja. 33, 34, sowas.
Steht auf jeden Fall ein Vers mit Krishna.
Ja.
Krishna Guna.
Aha. Das ist weiter vorne, ja. Vers 23 oder 24?
23 fängt es an.
23, nicht Krishna.
23 bis 34.
Ja. Und dieser Vers ist dann der mit der Erläuterung, ja. Ja.
25 wird ganz kurz.
Ja. Aber. Dann ist dieser Vers nicht richtig?
Doch, ich habe das so angeschrieben, weil sonst müsste der nächste Sprecher auf etwa 20 Verse.
Okay. Ja, genau, gut, danke. Jawohl. Reading from the Caitanya Caritamrita in the Madhya-lila, chapter 23, entitled Life's Ultimate Goal. Caitanya Mahaprabhu describes the different stages, the advanced stages of devotional life. It starts with text 23. Bhakti stuvanta manasa smarantas tanva namanto pyani sang napripta bhakta shravana netra jala samagram ayur haryar eva samarpayanti. With their words they offer prayers to the Lord. With their minds they always remember the Lord. With their bodies they offer obeisances to the Lord. Despite all these activities, they are still not satisfied. This is the nature of pure devotees. Shedding tears from their eyes, they dedicate their whole lives to the Lord's service. Purport. This verse is from the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. It's found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 3.1.3.29. Text 24. Bhakti siddhi indriyartha tarina hibaya. In the material field, people are interested in material enjoyment, mystic power and sense gratification. But these things do not appeal to the devotee at all. This is spoken again by Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 25. Yudushtya jandaras sutan suritrajang ridis parshan. Jahau yubaiva malavad utama shloka lalasa, sorry. My eyes are not so good. Translation. King Bharat was very eager to attain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is called Uttama Shloka, because poems and prayers are offered to him for his favor. I repeat again. King Bharat was very eager to attain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is called Uttama Shloka, because poems and prayers are offered to him for his favor. In his youth, King Bharat gave up his attractive wife and children, as well as his beloved friends and opulent kingdom, just as one gives up stool after passing it. Purport. These are the signs of a virakti, detachment, in a person who has developed bhava, the preliminary stage of love of Godhead. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 5:14-43. I will come back to this verse at the end. Now we continue, because so many verses are without purport, and we want to read these also, so that the next speaker doesn't have so many verses without purport. Text 26. Sarvotama apanaiti hina karimani. Although a pure devotee's standard is above all, he still considers himself to be in the lowest stage of life. Text 27. Haraurating at Vahanesha narendranang shikamani bhikshang atan aripuri shivapakam apivandati. Oh yeah. Bharat Maharaj always carried affection for Krishna within his heart. Although Bharat Maharaj was the crown jewel of kings, he was still wandering about and begging alms in the city of his enemies. He was even offering respects to Chandalas, low-class men who eat dogs. Purport. This is a quotation from the Padma Purana. Text 28. Krishna Kripa Kari Bena Drita Kari Jani. A fully surrendered devotee always hopes that Lord Krishna will be kind to him. This hope is very firm in him. Text 29. Na prema shravanadi bhaktir api vayogo tava vaishnavo Gyanang va shubha karma va kiyat aho satchatir apyastiva hinartadika shadake tvayi tata pyachitya mula sati he gopi janavallapa vyatayate naha mat asaiva mam. O my Lord, I do not have any love for you, nor am I qualified for discharging devotional service by chanting and hearing, nor do I possess the mystic power of a Vaishnava, knowledge or pious activities. Nor do I belong to a very high caste family. On the whole, I do not possess anything. Still, O beloved of the gopis, because you bestow your mercy on the most fallen, I have an unbreakable hope that is constantly in my heart. That hope is always giving me pain. Purport. This verse is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Text 30. Samutkanta haya sara lalasa pradhan. This eagerness is chiefly characterized by an ardent desire to associate with the Lord. Text 31. Tvatshaiva sang tribhuvanat bhutam ityavehi matchapalang chatabhava mama vadigamyam tat kim karomi viralang murali vilasi muktvam mukham bujamudikshitum ikshanabhyam. O Krishna, O flute player, the sweetness of your early age is wonderful within these three worlds. You know my unsteadiness, and I know yours. No one else knows about this. I want to see your beautiful, attractive face somewhere in a solitary place. But how can this be accomplished? Purport. This is a verse from the Krishna Caritamrita. Text 32. Mamagani sadaruchi laya Krishna nama Due to having great relish for the holy name, one is inclined to chant the Hare Krishna mantra constantly. Rudana bindu marandi syandi trik indriyar yatye govinda tava madura swara kanti gayati nama valingbala. O Govinda, this youthful girl named Radhika is today constantly pouring forth tears like nectar falling from flowers as she sings your holy names in a sweet voice. Forward verse. O Govinda, this youthful girl named Radhika is today constantly pouring forth tears like nectar falling from flowers as she sings your holy names in a sweet voice. Purport. This verse is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 1.3.38. And the verse written on the board, Krishna Gunakyane Haya Sarvada Asakti. Krishna Gunakyane Haya Sarvada Asakti. Krishna Gunakyane Haya Sarvada Asakti. Naja. Ja, bitte. Gunakyaya Haya. Noch jemand? Maraji? Okay. Krishna Guna Akhyane. In describing the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Haya, there is. Sarvada, always. Asakti, attachment. At this stage of bhava, a devotee has awakened the tendency to chant and describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. He has attachment for this process. There's no purport, and Srila Prabhupada says, if there's no purport for a verse, if the acharyas don't speak on this verse, one should also not talk about it. So I return to this verse who has a short purport. It was text 25. King Bharat was very eager to attain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is called Uttama Shloka, because poems and prayers are offered to him for his favor. In his youth, King Bharat gave up his attractive wife and children, as well as his beloved friends and opulent kingdom, just as one gives up stool after passing it. Purport. These are the signs of virakti, detachment, found in a person who has developed bhava, the preliminary stage of love of Godhead. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 5:14-43. We know the story of King Bharat and also the whole the whole earth was once called Bharatavarsha. Originally it's called Bharatavarsha, the land of Bharat. Shri Palat Lakshmi Singhadev Ki Jai. Bharat's father was Rishabdev, an incarnation of Krishna. He personified the perfect king, and he instructed his sons by teaching them the proper attitude in life. There's this fifth canto, fifth chapter, starting text 1. Maharaj Rishabdev starts instructing his sons. Nayang deho diha bhajam riloke kashtan kaman arate vid pujam ye. Tapo divyam putra kayena sattvam shudyet yasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam. Nayang deho diha bhajam. A person who has attained by good fortune this human form of life should not waste his time by hankering after sense gratification, which is available even for the dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should practice tapodivyam, one should practice transcendental austerity to attain the stage of Brahman realization, which leads one to devotional service. And then one will attain a state, the platform, then one will attain the state of unlimited spiritual happiness. Rishabdev pointed out, Maharaj Rishabdev pointed out to his sons, and Bharat was the eldest of his sons. He heard this verse. This human life is not meant for bodily activities. It's not meant for fulfilling the desires of the senses, which are endless. They said if one would win the whole universe in the lottery, then after having it, one would desire another universe. Okay, this universe is nice, but maybe I should have another universe for my wife, or something like this. The material desires are endless. They are never satisfied. They're never satisfied. Chandramauli Swami once gave here a class, and he asked, what do you think, in which class of society there are the most suicides? in the slums where all the drug addicts and beggars and criminals are living, or in the class of the upper 10,000, the rich persons, privileged persons. What do you think? And he said, yes, statistics show that the most suicides take place in the class of the rich, privileged, famous, beautiful persons. Most suicides happen there. Because somebody has it all that he could desire, and he feels that he is still not satisfied. If you have so many things, possessions possess the possessor. Besitz besitzt den Besitzenden. The mantra of the poor people. But it's a fact. The more you have, the more you want. The more you have, the more you want. The more you can enjoy, the stronger your attachment grows. And then when you're lacking something, you want it definitely. And you don't get it, then some people are so crazy, so stupid, that they think by destroying their body, they will destroy their problems. But of course, that's not the fact. We're not the body. These material desires, they will never be fulfilled. One should not hanker, one should not endeavor to fulfill one's material desires. These things are available also to the hogs and dogs. Aha nidra baya maitun. It is said, these four things, ahar, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, fearing, these things are common to human beings and animals. We human beings eat, sleep, reciprocate, and try to protect ourselves. The animals do the same in a more simplified way. And sometimes you can see the animals, they are quite happy, whereas human beings are not so happy. When you run to your work, maybe above you can hear the birds singing in the sky, happily singing their day away, enjoying the life, flying in the sunshine, looking for seeing their partner, happily they're singing. In the Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada writes, the sweet chirping of the birds are but specimen of Krishna's voice. Yeah. This singing of the birds is so sweet. It's small parts of Krishna's voice, just as lovely, just as sweet as Krishna's voice. So animals are even happy with these things. They are meant for that. But human beings are not meant just for eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Human beings have more intelligence. And that does not mean that they should use their intelligence just for bodily activities, but for tapodevyam, performing activities that will give them more insight into the real questions of human life. The human brain is made in such a way that it can ask for things beyond these bodily activities. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, maybe in everybody, these questions come up. What is the meaning of life? Why is everything as it is? And recently my uncle died. Where does a person go? Is there existence after this? And where do we come from? Materialists, they give these quite primitive answers. Well, obviously, some say, the communists say that matter is eternal. It was just always there, and it will always be there, and nothing else. If you ask, where does it come from? Well, it was always there. But it is said that every atom has a Verfallszeit. It will exist only for a certain time, then it will cease to exist. All the matter. If one atom has only a certain time to exist and then it falls apart, then it's quite simple to conclude that also the whole creation exists only for a certain time and then it will fall apart. That's quite stupid. Matter is eternal. Or, well, there was a Big Bang. There's another funny theory. Something was there and exploded. And by this explosion, complete order in this universe was created. I mean, if you explode something, if you know that there's not so much order, not at all. There's any order. There's complete destruction. That's a very, very desperate try to deny the existence of God. It's useless. You have to have very much faith and little intelligence to believe in the Big Bang theory. No, it's more easy to believe in creation. So many things are there. Recently I talked with Darwin, who brought up this evolution theory. He said, the thought of the eye causes me nightmares. Yeah. The eye. Darwin's theory was, well, this body, first there was matter, and then somehow by chemical evolution, some small living entity appeared, one cell only, and somehow by mutation, these one cell things, one of them developed into two cells, and this two cell thing, so it was superior, was the king of the one cellers, and it was more able to reciprocate. And then from that time on, only two cellers, and then there was another mutation, another development into three, and so on, until finally, here we are, full of cells, many cells, and we developed into this from one cells, from matter. Very simple. Yes, you have to believe this. It's written in the books, in the school books. But if you think about, there's mutation, and then that gives you an advancement for reciprocation. Those who have this mutation, they are better than the others. But how can an eye develop by mutation? If they are, let's say, they're humans with no eyes, but one of them suddenly has a hole in the head. That this mutation doesn't give you any advantage. The eye, either the eye is there completely to work. It cannot develop by mutation and reciprocate, and it cannot develop by mutation and developing. It cannot develop from a primitive step to another step. Either everything is there or not. If you look at the eye, every month I have to go to the eye doctor. I get an injection into my eye. and when I'm sitting there in the waiting room, there are so many drawings, schemes of the structure of the eye. So complicated, so extremely complicated. There's the eyeball, there's the lens, there's this opening. There are muscles that open and close the opening of the eye and adjust to seeing nearby, adjust to seeing far away. You can look upward, downward. At night it closes. There is liquid that waters, refreshes the eye, keeps it working. Everything is there, and there are the nerves going to the brain, to where the eye sends the impressions it gets. This cannot develop by mutation. These theories are all useless. It's all nonsense. So a material platform, it's very limited. We have the duty, we have the intelligence to ask. Matter cannot be everything. So what more is there? Where do we come from? Sorry, I don't have the faith to believe in Big Bang or evolution. What else? Where do we really come from? There are these stories of people remembering their past lives. Some devotees quote this Ian Stevenson, famous author. He was a professor, and he heard about these stories, the children remembering their past lives. And he was a convinced materialist. He was sure that was cheating. So he went and visited some children who told about their past lives. And he went to one first story, 20 cases of supposed reincarnation. Ian Stevenson. Interesting book. I guess at Amazon you get it very cheap. Ian Stevenson, 20 cases reincarnation. One small girl, she said that she remembered her last life. So he went there with some assistant. They visited this family. And there was the girl, and he talked with her, and with the translator, and she said she remembered her last life. In a certain city, she was a woman there, living there. And he asked the parents, why does she think like this? Did you ever go there to the city? No, we never went there. We are simple people. It's just that our small daughter suddenly tells about these things, and by the grace of Krishna, maybe it may happen. And this ENST, this professor, he said, okay, we will go to this place with your daughter, and the parents, they went there. They arrived at this place, and the small girl, we have to go there, this way, and they arrived at a house. She went in there were some children, and she cried and hugged the children who were bigger than her, and she called them by the names that their mother, who had deceased, that their mother had called them. And there was the father. She went to this man. She hugged him and said, "I'm your former wife." And she went to the place where the clothes of her in her former life were stored, and she took out, "Here, this was my favorite sari, and this one, and this one, and these were my favorite saris." And she completely convinced the family and also this professor that indeed she had been living in this town before. And this really made a deep impression, made him think. And he visited other places, and he got the knowledge that this life is not everything that we had lived before, many lives before. Sometimes we have dreams of flying in the sky or swimming underneath the water, although we never had the experience except of flying in an airplane, but flying in the sky on some certain wings, and sometimes in our dreams, memories come up from former lives, things that we did not realize, that never happened in this life. So many things, just on the material platform, they hint, they show. Ist zu schnell, ja? So many things are there showing that this life is not everything, this material platform is not everything. So we should strive, if we really want to make the best use of our life, we should endeavor, we should strive for our real purpose of life. To realize what is the truth behind all of this. What is the essence of knowledge? Tapo Divyam, Rishabh Maharaj said to Bharat Maharaj, his sons. Perform transcendental tapasya, transcendental renunciation. That means a materialist who doesn't have any knowledge, doesn't have any culture, he eating, sleeping, he eats everything that is there. If you walk around in the cities, sometimes, you see that there are shops. If you go into the supermarket, there are these fridges where they sell these dead corpses, parts of. Till now, it's only animal corpses. They kill the animals in these huge industrial slaughterhouses, one after the other, cut their bodies apart, and put them in the store so that the housewife may come and pick it. Oh, this looks good, and it's cheap too. I buy this for my dear ones. They like it so much. Oh, how horrible this is. And the parts that they cannot sell in the shop, they just they just blend it or something, and then they turn it. The parts that they cannot sell, nobody wants it. They just blend it and mix it, put some salt and spices, and then it's sausages. And people come, oh, sausage, it's so nice. Sometimes there are these street vendors that are selling these Rostbratwurst. Sausages fried on open fire or something. And they're brown, they have a crusty surface, and sausages, they look like stool. And it's not much different. It's about the same. It's just garbage and it's turned into these things. And the people are so stupid, they go and buy this. This is horrible. This is so horrible. Renunciation, it's not a renunciation to give up eating all these things. Here in Bavaria, beer, everywhere there's beer. I think they're so advanced. I quoted this sometimes. Actually, the beer was invented by monks. It was invented by monks. And they also have some fasting periods where they don't eat grains, supposed to eat grains. So they thought, well, if we take the grains and blend them and roast them something and put them in water, and they tried this, okay, we can drink it. When some of these water grains that they started rotting. And some foam came up, and the monks, oh, we don't have anything else. Maybe we still drink it. Cheers. And they drank it. Luck, it smells like vomit. But, hey, wait. I feel so funny, so jolly. Hey, compadre, how's it? They get drunk. And they think that they realize a better state of life. Feeling funny. Yes, they feel funny because so many cells in their brains have been destroyed. Therefore, they're completely stupid. And therefore, they think everything is funny. Good friend. And a moment later, I hate you. I could... This is so stupid. So when people think that's normal, that's normal. Everybody does this. So therefore you also do this. Drink beer, eat meat, and do all these things. But it's horrible. It's horrible. No? Horrible life, material life. And if you don't get any knowledge, what is better, what is real, you go on with this. And you also tell your children to act in the same way. The children become prey to all this advertisement. Beer, people sitting around a table, elegant, cultivated, beautiful people, nicely combed hair, nice dress, and they hold up a jug of beer. Cheers. Good health. And yes, our beer is brewed with only the most pure essentials. Hopfen und Malz, Gott erhalts. May God keep this, and may God give us our beer, which we brewed with only the most pure water and just some most pure grains, and it's for you. Enjoy it and live a wonderful life. And when you see this, and well, looks good. I know. It's such a horrible thing. So and to give this up, if you get some higher knowledge, if you get the knowledge, this is stupid. Don't do this. If somehow you come from a different culture where this is not accepted. Once somebody asked Gandhi, "Oh, Gandhiji, what do you think about culture in the West?" And Gandhi said, "Yes, I think that would be a good idea." It's horrible. This material life is horrible. Tapodevyam, we should perform transcendental renunciation, give up these horrible things, give up meat eating, give up this intoxication, cigarettes. When I grew up, it was so natural. everybody smoked cigarette. I also, my friends, they were smoking cigarette at school. So I also, but I could only, and hey, come on, you don't really inhale. You have to inhale. And okay, at home, at my window, at the room of my window, I was standing, had cigarette and tried to inhale. It was horrible. And I practiced until I finally could inhale the cigarette smoke. And then next day at school, I could also inhale, walking with my friends, smoking cigarettes. But nowadays, day before yesterday, I was in a shop, and there are these packages of tobacco, and it says, smoking is deadly. Smoking causes cancer. It causes your embryos to get deformed. It is so unhealthy. Everywhere it's written on this, but still people buy it. Well, Marlboro, free. I'm so free. I don't care. I'm so cool. I'm just above. Prabhupada once said, they have these cigarettes. It's smoking, and there's one cigarette brand, Cool, Kool. It's smoking, it's fire, and they call it cool. And Prabhupada was amused. So stupid. Smoking, all these things, it's so detrimental. It causes cancer. Friends of mine, they died from lung cancer. But everybody thinks it's normal. But it's crazy. No? So it doesn't take so much renunciation to give up all these things. No? Tapodivyam, transcendental renunciation, to give up all these things. And then we will come to this, when we give up these things, our intelligence gets clear, our consciousness gets purified. And when we come, and by good luck, if we come in contact with the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, then we start to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And in my case, when I started chanting, I realized I was practically vegetarian, but something was there, and this is completely, to give this up. Also smoking, and I was chanting, no, this is stupid. Just the conscious, I got conscious. This consciousness means to the soul of the voice of the super soul of Krishna in the heart. People call it Gewissen, consciousness, the good voice in the heart. That's the super soul telling us, don't do these things. When we are drugged and stupid, we don't hear the voice. But when we get little purified, we hear the voice, we hear the instructions from the heart, the instructions of Krishna. Don't do this, do it like this. And when we follow, when our mind, intelligence become purified, we follow these instructions, and the instructions in the books especially. And we practice and practice. Our faith strengthens, and we adau shraddha tato sadhusanga tata bhajana kriya. We look for the association of devotees, and we start performing devotional service. By this performing service, all our anarthas, they cease, they go away. We see, they live very happily without all nonsense, or at least they're trying. And with sadhu sangha, tata bhajana kriya, tato anartha nivritti. When we perform devotional service, then our anarthas, they cease. We are able to, they just disappear. We are able to give up all the bad things. If you get a higher taste, you can give up the lower taste. It happened in the lives of all of us. Anartha nivritti, all the bad habits. I was so eager when I was a child. I was reading so much, all novels and things, and later on it was still there, the taste. But then yes, it's just a waste of time. And Prabhupada says these novels and invented stories, it's just the eating place of crows. Only like crows, they only go to garbage places. So all these material things, they are invention books and stuff. It's just some inventions. It's just garbage. It's useless. You don't waste your life with that. And I understood and gave it up. And so many things we are able to give up in devotional life. And it's getting better. Then Anatin Tatu Nishta. Then we become steady and we understand, yes, this is the thing to do. Krishna exists. Srila Prabhupada is right. When Prabhupada describes Krishna and his associates and his pastimes, and the Bhagavatam is full of the descriptions of the lives of great devotees, how they served Krishna, how they met Krishna, and the pastimes of Krishna when he was here on this earth. Our faith gets steady. Our spiritual practice becomes steady. Nishta, Ruchi. And then chase develops. In the beginning, maybe we performed our spiritual life because Srila Prabhupada writes that we should do it. And we're in the temple commander tells us to do it. And we do it. We perform our duties. Perform duty means the mode of goodness. Performing our duty, to do the things that we are supposed to do. We just do it because we are told to do so. And we have faith. But then when we are steady in this, then the ruchi comes, then we get chased. And then we do these things because we like to do them, we want to do them. In the morning we jump up, not because the temple commander stands near a sleeping bag. So, are you still sleeping? No. No, we jump up because we want to go to the kirtan and dance and sing and these things. Nobody else says this. Now, then the ruchi comes. And then this develops finally into bhava, the preparing stage of love, of pure love, of prema, bhava. And in this verse, Maharaj Bharat, he was on the stage of bhava. He followed the instructions of his father. He attained bhava, this opening stage of the highest love for Krishna. And because of this, he didn't have any interest. He just left his family. He was the king. He was the ruler. He left his kingdom. He left his duties. He left his friends, his immense wealth, even the demigods, even Kumera, they were envying him for his immense wealth. He was the supreme ruler. And Bharati went into the forest and just practiced devotional service, being completely absorbed in love for Krishna. He only wanted that. And it is said, there's a nice verse, I don't remember. If you just surrender completely to serving Krishna, then you can give up all other duties. The duties you have to your forefathers, well, they gave you your body, maybe house, or what, the duties to the demigods, who give you the sunlight, the rain, the fruits and grains, and the duties to all other duties you can give up if you dedicate your life to serving Krishna. Well, Srila Prabhupada said that we should not imitate this. Prabhupada said we should, at least once a month, we should contact our parents, and so that they see that we are happy, that we are not gone completely nuts, not gone crazy, being in this funny sect. That the parents see that we still like them, and that they see that the child is happy, and maybe they get impressed, and maybe then they come. My parents always thought, no, this crazy sect took away our child. We don't like this. I'm sorry, I never was able to convince them. But maybe the parents, but because the devotees don't told me, after 5 years, the first time I visited my parents, it shouldn't be like this, not fanatical. We should keep contact, né? And try to inspire our relatives. That maybe send them prasadam and books, and maybe when they like it, they start reading a book. So we should practice our devotional service. Bharat Maharaji gave up everything, and so that's described in this verse. These beautiful verses describing how this devotee perceiving how Srimati Radharani is crying for Krishna, tears falling from her face, like nectar falling from flowers on a tree. Such wonderful descriptions. Who would not be like to be able to experience, to appreciate and enjoy these wonderful pastimes, these wonderful descriptions? We just have to go on. Nectar of instruction, Upadeshamrita. There are these 6 things that are helpful. First, we have to be enthusiastic. It is said, Prabhupada describes enthusiasm means to become very active for Krishna. And Prabhupada says one should work hard for Krishna and give the results to Krishna. This should be the motto of our life. We should be enthusiastic for Krishna. And we should endeavor with faith. We should endeavor with faith that this is the right thing. Shraddha Shabda Vishvaskoi Sudita Nishtoy. Faith means to be completely convinced that simply by performing devotion and service, by simply worshipping Krishna, one will attain all perfection in life. Nothing else necessary. Of course, if you have to maintain a family, you do your things, you do your material duties. But the real thing is worshipping Krishna, and we should be convinced that is the essential, the most important thing. And then Nishta. Then comes we have to be patient. No? Even if it takes decades, many tens of years, until we come to a platform where this is enjoyable. Maybe we don't just follow it because of duty. Yes, Prabhupada says we should do it. But we should go on, and it may take decades, but still it's worth it, né, to come to this stage where we get this real relationship to Krishna and to the spiritual master and to the devotees, where it becomes very enjoyable, much unlimitedly more enjoyable than material enjoyment. Nitapotivyam putak shutyet yasmat brahma saukyaram. We attain this brahma sukha, this spiritual pleasure, which is it is said a whole ocean of material enjoyment cannot be compared to a drop of spiritual bliss. No? So we are here because we are hankering after this. We are reading this wonderful description of the advanced devotees, and we see that is the goal which we are striving for. We need patience also. If we don't always have this higher taste, if we not always see Krishna before us, like Srila Prabhupada did, then still we should have faith that Krishna is true and not the school books, evolution and things, that Prabhupada is right. Krishna exists. And we should go on leading our life as we are instructed, as we also experience. Krishna gives us taste. Okay, late. Is there any question? Yes, Prabhu. Thank you for your patience. Sorry? Sorry.
And it was so unfortunate, like there were the parents, and since like these books are like lifesavers, and they started to read, and then the parents, they just brought back the book, like little bit scolding them. So since you also mentioned like they are a bit skeptical or afraid that we are trying somehow to bring them into the cult. But these are life-saving books, but the parents themselves, they don't know what are the instructions in these books. That's why they are like snatching the books. But it feels like, for example, a doctor is giving a treatment in emergency room to a child, and the parents come and then like they snatch the device because they don't know. But it's life-saving books, so how to turn this unfortunate situation, and like, so maybe you can enlighten.
Once Srila Prabhupada said, parents are one of the natural enemies of this movement. Not all parents, but some parents. They have the attitude. This sect, our priest also says they're dangerous. This dangerous sect said they stole my child, they took away my child, shaved the hair, put him into funny clothes, and he has to jump around on the street and act like a madman. This is so horrible. I hate these gurus who just after money. And the parents don't like it. That may take place. It is unfortunate. Some parents, they come and they see that it's nice, and that they see that their child is happy, and they start chanting. Quite some parents that start chanting. Munindra Gana Prabhu he's back here, book distributor. His parents, they got initiated. No? That takes place. That happens. But even if your parents don't appreciate, even if they don't appreciate the movement, still you have to go on. Because Prabhupada writes in one purport, if one member of a family goes back to Krishna, the whole family will go back to Krishna. That gave me so much hope. If one member of the family goes to Krishna, the whole family will go. Mm-hmm. If you go back to Krishna, then your parents and their parents and your brothers and sisters, others, all of them, they get Krishna's kripa, they get Krishna's undeserved mercy, just because you serve Krishna, just because you went back to Krishna. This can be a motivation to perform our service nicely. If we go back to Krishna, the whole family, and we have faith in Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada knows what he is saying. Prabhupada said, I did not write these books myself. Krishna dictated these books to me. That's what Krishna says. If one member of the family goes to Krishna, the whole family follows. That's the best thing we can do for our parents. If we just serve Krishna, if we just perform our spiritual life or spiritual duty, then our parents, even if not now, they will get it all. They get this immense, this huge benefit. And it said one should not preach to one's parents. If you want to preach to your parents, you should take a friend, maybe more senior person, and visit them. And then you are there, there's just a child. Yeah, what you say, we're not the body, okay, whatever. Don't tell me you're just a child. But if there's another person talking to the parents, then that they may take serious. The children shouldn't talk to their parents. Just send them prasadam and books, okay. But if you bring another person to preach to them, that they may accept. Then they see then they see that they are more able to see that this is how helpful, how beneficial this is. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu. So even I heard about this instruction, like preaching to the own parents, but like we are here before Prahlad Maharaj. So how to reconcile this fact, like because Prahlad Maharaj was so direct to his own demon father, but in our case, like preaching to the own parents. So how to like we just.
Well, it's difficult for them to accept our preaching because you're just a child. You should obey and listen to them. That's what they think. Sending prasadam, it's so helpful. Prabhupada says if one person only once accepts a little prasadam, they will come back to Krishna consciousness at one point in time or another. Several places Prabhupada quotes says this. If somebody only gets a little prasadam, maybe not in this life, but they will come back to Krishna consciousness at one point in time or another. If you go around making kirtan, distributing cookies, the person who gets a cookie at one point in time or another, maybe in one life, he will go back to Krishna. Naturally, he's hooked up. Krishna will pull him out of this material world because of this cookie. If they get a little prasadam, they will go back to Krishna. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Past 9.